In today's demo lesson, I'm going to do the business English lesson on interviews. And in particular, I'm going to focus on adjectives, prepositions, as well as some candidate examples. I'm also going to go through the homework so you have an idea of what to expect. So if that's something you're interested in, stay tuned to find out more. Hey, I'm Michael with Michael's Business English. For those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Michael Rincon, a former six-figure data analyst turned ESL instructor and career coach. I help non-native English speakers like you with your work life and career to increase your value. If you're new here on this channel, we talk about business English, communications, and career development. So if you're into that, make sure you like and subscribe. And all the descriptions mentioned in this video can be found in the comment section below. All right, so today's business English lesson is on interviews. So the objectives for today's lesson are to outline common vocabulary and expressions used in job interviews, to introduce common adjectives used to describe workers, such as proactive, and specific job skills, such as communication skills. All right, so to warm up, we're going to describe yourself in a job interview with adjectives. There are tons of adjectives you can use. Do you know the meaning of these adjectives? Which adjectives would you use to describe yourself? So innovative, punctual, dependable, resourceful, efficient, logical. Do you know what these terms mean? If so, tell me what it means. Tell me what you believe it means. If not, let me know and we can talk about what the meaning means. Also, tell me how you describe yourself right now in interviews. You describe yourself as confident. You describe yourself as conscientious. Conscientious. Adaptable is my favorite one. Resourceful is really important. Versatile is important to me. Do you know what these verbs mean? Do you know these adjectives? Do you know what these adjectives mean? Ambitious is useful for younger students. In my opinion, ambitious, you don't know what that means. It means that you have a desire to do great things. And a lot of employers want to see that from young job seekers. They want to see, do you have drive? Do you have a motivation to do good work? So here in this exercise, we're going to look at these adjectives and we're going to say which adjectives describes each person. So Grace is an excellent public speaker. She's able to organize her ideas well and communicate them fluently. Which of these adjectives describes her? Is it cooperative? Is it diligent? Is it prudent? Is it versatile? Now remember, if you saw my lesson on cover letters, you recall that if you don't know the definition, we can look it up. So meticulous is kind of a weird term. Let's see what that means. Punctualitas, meticulous research, punctuous, extreme care in treatment of details. So this is a good adjective to use if you were looking to talk about attention to detail. Although I would be cautious about using adjectives you're not familiar with. So if you don't use words like this on a regular basis, I'd be careful about that. I would try to find words that make more sense to you, that you can actually say confidently, because you'll be asked why would you say you're certain so. But does that describe Grace? Grace is an excellent public speaker. She's able to organize her ideas well and communicate them fluently. I would say to maybe she could say meticulous, because if she's able to organize her ideas, that means she's got attention to detail. Remember what this term was. Meticulous means attention to detail, right? So care of treatment of details. What else could we say about her? What's articulate mean? Articulate, give voice, put words into expression, pronounce, enunciate, vocalize, express or state clearly. So if she's an excellent public speaker, then her ability to articulate, it sounds like she's got the ability to articulate effectively. Does that make sense? All right, so here I'd like you to practice using prepositions. So if you remember from my demo lesson on resumes, we talked about prepositions. Prepositions are words or phrases that connect a noun or pronoun to a verb or adjective in a sentence. So an example would be, I'm going with her would be a preposition. Or the man on the platform. She arrived after dinner. What did you do it for? So I want you to fill in the blanks and use the best preposition you can. If you're not sure, let me know and we can work that out. We got a few examples of prepositions here, some more fill in the blanks of possible vocabulary you can use. So what type of position are you looking for? I'm interested blank on entry level position. Now, if you're not sure, think about the times when you've seen sentences similar to this. Like, have you ever had experiences where people either spoke to you or you read about it in a book where people use this vocabulary? I'm interested blank entry-level position on entry-level position. All right, so for this section, I'm going to go through some candidates for an application, and the objective here is for you to determine who the best candidate is. So, Fluent English Language School is searching for a new ESL teacher to teach students age 12 to 16. Your job is to choose the best candidate. So, Janet just completed her PhD in linguistics. She has spent 2 years teaching English composition to college students. Her boyfriend is from Russia and she has helped him to learn English. Lisa was an architect in Germany before immigrating to the US 10 years ago. She just finished a 120-hour intensive ESL teaching certification with 30 hours of teaching experience. She has a slight German accent and near native English fluency. Henry graduated last year with a degree in journalism and spent the summer teaching English to Mexican immigrants in New York. He loved teaching English and wants to continue. And Ben has a degree in theater. He has a lot of accent training and has spent the last few years training actors to speak in different accents. In addition, he has spent a few months in Korea training students in public speaking. Alright, so now that you've had a chance to look at all 4 of them, which one would you choose and why? Now, take the time to think about this, and let's go back to the actual question. The post is a new ESL teacher to teach students age 12 to 16. This is the kind of thing that hiring managers have to deal with. This is the same thing that recruiters have to deal with as they're screening candidates for the hiring manager. Is that there's never going to be a perfect candidate that meets all the requirements on paper. So they have to look at all the variables and say which candidate is going to be the best opportunity for me, the best chance that we have for the best to be successful. So let's take a look at this one more time and look at the skills they talked about. So the goal is to find someone to teach students age 12 to 16. And Janet, for example, she has a PhD in linguistics and she has spent 2 years teaching English composition to college students. What do you think about that one? Do you think someone who has trained college students would be a good fit to teach 12 to 16-year-olds? Why or why not? This is an important kind of thinking exercise as you're going through this. Because if you don't have the direct experience, because she has college students, not 12 to 16, those are different, are they not? So how could Janet show a manager in an interview that she could teach students 12 to 16 if she's trained college students? Food for thought, just stuff to think about as you get ready for your career. Alright, before we end this demo lesson, let's go over the homework. So here's part of it. Read each question and select the best answer based on the choices provided. Which adjective describes a person who's always on time for meetings? So pick one. Which one do you remember? If you don't remember the adjective, then quickly go on Google and look up the terms. Meticulous. Because remember, this is not about getting it right or wrong. This is about improving your understanding. There's no shame. I have to go back and forth. I don't remember. So METIC, no shame in trying to find the answers. Meticulous, showing great attention to detail, very careful and precise. Probably not it, because this is about being on time for meetings. But you see what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get you to do work. Like in school we learn not to go look for the answer because that's cheating. But here My goal is not for you to worry about cheating. This is not about getting it perfect. Your goal is to learn how to learn and how to improve your communication, as well as to deepen your understanding of English, improve it, and you learn through repetition. Let's see, what else can we do? So now you get the opportunity to do some free-form writing here, and explain your most impressive skill, use your work experience and achievements to provide examples of that skill. So we didn't actually talk about skills in the demo lesson, but it's actually in the course. It talks about like technical skills, analytical skills, conversational skills. Let me see. Pretend you are in an interview. The interviewer commences by asking you to tell you something about yourself that you normally don't talk about with a prospective employer. How would you respond? And again, there's no right or wrong answer here. It's do the best you can and get feedback from us as the teachers. You're interviewing a candidate for a job in your company or your department. Prepare questions to ask the candidate. Interesting, I like this. Make sure the questions cover the most important skills that are needed to work at your company or your department, right? At least 6 questions. So this is a hypothetical. The goal of this exercise is to get you, one, writing out the questions so you can think about what are the questions you might get asked in your job search. So let's see, I'm an ESL teacher. If I was looking to hire a teacher, for which I'm not looking right now, but in the future I will be looking, what are the skills I need? So as questions, my question would be like, one question I would see, because I want someone who works with business professionals, so I would ask, what is your career background like? Do you have experience? What kind of experience do you have? With business professionals, right? Like, here's another example. Let me think of a question that's a tough one. Like, I noticed you don't have a teaching certificate. Right? I'm just hypothetically saying, like, if a teacher came in, someone applied to be a teacher at my school, and they don't have a teaching certificate, I would ask them, like, I noticed you don't have a teaching certificate. What is your experience teaching? Teaching might be one question. I have, like, do you have experience teaching? Another question I might have might be like, why do you not have a certificate? Why don't you have a certificate? How did you get it? Like, that's a very reasonable question. Like, this job requires teaching experience, it requires teaching qualifications. Why don't you have a teaching certificate for a job that requires a certificate? That's a good question to ask someone, and that's good for you to think about that. If you're looking for a job that requires a specific education, how do you answer that question? All right, I hope you found this helpful. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, guys. Thank you.